Hey Geography peeps, so this is going to be a filler week, a double filler week. You guys have made a few suggestions on topics that we can cover in these videos, and I took 2 of them, and I think you're going to like them. But also guys, I need a week off. We're going to finish this year off with the 2 twin countries, the Koreas, but also I got to get ready to go to Canada for the very first Geography Now Geography. The very first school that I will go and host this Geography Bee will be at, drumroll, the l'École Arménienne Sub-Agop School in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I'm actually going to be doing 2 geographies there, one for the younger kids and one for the older kids. So 2 students at that school will win these coveted trophies. So today's topic is going to be really cool. It's the shortest lived countries in the world. But before we get into it, really cool. I love these guys. Vikings War of Clans decided once again to sponsor this video. I love these guys. Just ugh. Many of you guys have already signed up for this game already. And newsflash, they have an update with a new hero and new elements. So check it out. If you remember top strategy and RPG games of the 90s and 2000s, you will definitely love this game. You have the option to build your own cities, raise an economy, use your diplomacy skills. As of right now, worldwide, there are over 12 million players. Support Geography now and download Vikings from the links below in the description and get your initial protection shield for free and my special bonus of 200 gold for a fast and successful start. Also, me and the Vikings are giving away 3 new iPhone X's. All you have to do is install Vikings in the links below and upgrade your palace to level 5. The iPhone X giveaway is on December 30th, so don't miss it. Thank you once again, Vikings War of Clans. You guys are always supporting Geography Now. You're great sponsors. Love you guys. Now today's topic, the shortest lived countries in the world. And I should elaborate a little more. I'm going to mention the shortest lived recognized countries in the world. That means these countries were actually recognized by an actual sovereign state. So let's begin. Number 5, this is an interesting one. Lasting 36 days, recognized technically by Soviet Russia, the Transcaucasian Federation. Basically, after the February Revolution in Tsarist Russia in the early 20th century, things were getting a little messy. Immediately, the Caucasus region was like, hey, now's our chance to kind of do something. So it's kind of weird, but for a very brief, short period of time, the Azerbaijanis, Armenians, and Georgians actually kind of got together and made their own country. The problem was, if you don't really know this area very well, the people groups in this area don't really quite get along very well. The government was a mess, the Ottomans were invading, people couldn't agree on anything, and it shortly dissolved, and the Russians came over and kind of took over everything all over again. So yeah, but it's kind of interesting. These 3 nations actually kind of made something for 36 days. Coming in at number 4, the Republic of Kuwait. Now this one's kind of weird because today, in order to kind of take over the land area of another country, there's kind of like a weird shady loophole system that you can kind of do in order to avoid worldwide conflict. And that is, you have to kind of influence the governing authorities of that area to secede from the country that they're from and then apply for annexation to your country. This tactic actually has happened quite a few times. And that's what happened with the Republic of Kuwait. Back in the 90s, there was a guy named Saddam Hussein. There was also a thing called the Gulf War. Basically, Saddam Hussein wanted to make Kuwait a province of Iraq, but he couldn't just take it. So what he did was he kind of went in and implemented his own proxy puppet government created by his own political party with the agenda of assuaging that new government to apply for annexation into Iraq. Fortunately, though, it never really happened and the Gulf War kind of raged on and Kuwait became its own thing. But yeah, it's funny because for 24 days, they were their own thing. Interesting, right? Coming in at number 3, lasting for only 2 weeks, recognized by Hungary, with the capital of Timisoara, the Banat Republic. Basically, World War I was crazy. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was dissolving, and when that happened, everything just became one big mess. Everybody was like, oh, what are we gonna do? What areas are gonna become their own countries? How are we gonna split things up? And for 2 weeks, this area, recognized by Hungary, was like, I'm gonna be my own thing. Unfortunately, it didn't really last that long, and the Serbian army came in, and then they just kind of split it up between them, and then Romania and Hungary. But yeah, for 2 weeks, they kind of held their ground, and yeah, it didn't really last that long, but it was a thing. Coming in at number 2, recognized for only 5 days, recognized by the UK, with the capital of Hargeisa, the state of Somaliland. Now, this is an interesting one because it was kind of created because a delay. Back in 1960, the British agreed to relinquish British Somaliland under the intention that it would join the trust territory of Somaliland under Italian administration, or basically modern-day Somalia. So the 2 legislative bodies agreed that they would join together, but the problem was the rest of Somalia still had to kind of do their paperwork for 5 more days. So British Somaliland gained independence, but they had to wait 5 days to join with the rest of Somalia. So technically that meant for 5 days, they were on their own and they were their own kind of technical country. This is kind of a touchy subject because today there are kind of separatist groups going on in the northern areas of Somalia, known as modern-day Somaliland, and they are totally vying for independence from the rest of Somalia. It's kind of interesting to see all that go down, but yeah, for 5 days, they kind of were their own thing. And finally, coming in at number 1, lasting only 1 day, recognized by Russia, capital Sevastopol, the Republic of Crimea. Now, this one's a really interesting, tricky one because, first of all, it only happened in 2014, so pretty recent, but also because of like the loophole politics involved. Basically, it's kind of similar to what happened with the Republic of Kuwait. The high population of pro-Russian separatists in this area held a referendum and essentially kind of took over their own sovereignty apart from the Ukrainians. That means that technically they did kind of create their own state. However, it was never really intended to last long due to the fact that they were vying for annexation back into Russia. So that's why every time I add a cutout of Russia into geography now, I always add a light green disputed Crimea area into the Russian Federation. This is because Crimea is kind of disputed by the outside world from Russia, but if you think about it through the weird loophole shady system, it kind of is Russian. But a lot of people are saying no, but Russians say yes, and they show you the paperwork and it says kind of yes. Crimea is very messy territory that I hate getting into because it's such a mess. So many people have so many opinions about it, but what it basically boils down to is it is a lava field that you do not want to step on. So that's about it. The top 5 shortest lived recognized sovereign states. Now keep in mind there are other states that were short-lived, such as the Republic of Benin, Carpatho, Ukraine, the Republic of Puerto Rico, Mindanao, even the Faroe Islands had their own little thing going on, but those states were not recognized by not even one fully sovereign state. So yeah, that was pretty fun. I hope you guys learned something, and I look forward to finishing off 2017 with you guys. Stay cool, stay tuned.